we today will be doing a Hell Lightning Zon guided playthrough because I don't believe I've actually done one yet in Diablo 2 Resurrected. So let's talk a little bit about the Amazon. The Amazon is pretty decent. For her stats, she gets 3 life per vitality point, which is really nice. You can run some like max block strats on her if you would like. That can be useful. She has decent starting stats overall. Her skill trees, poison is very solid early, and we actually did a full guided playthrough of like poison and charge strike. That was really nice. Bow and crossbow is okay. You have kind of 3 builds: cold, physical, or fire. Exploding arrow is extremely strong for a while. Freezing arrow is pretty good. You can kind of mix these two because they don't have big synergy requirements, which is nice. And then physical boson can be fun, but requires a little bit better gear. Down this tree, you have the physical spears, which are not that great. Like I said, poison. And then you have your lightning zon, which is where we'll be focusing on. We'll be going power strike early, charge strike later, and ultimately lightning fury. Let me move my camera out of the way for lightning fury. Where lightning fury, of course, is a thrown javelin that then explodes into many bolts on impact. So is very good for packs. Charge strike is also really solid for high damage and doesn't really require an attack rating check. Passive and magic skills, dodge, avoid, and evade are all really solid. They used to be kind of buggy in LOD and not as good. They fixed them up here. Valkyrie is the strongest summon in the game. She is godly, so you can run it with literally any Amazon, and she's amazing. 1 point in it is great. Peace armor will get you a level 15, which is fantastic. And then if you can get a level 17 plus, she gets a weapon upgrade, which is really nice. And then pierce, penetrate, crit strike are all really solid passive. She has a really good passive tree, with pierce being really nice because we'll want to have our javelins pierce through enemies to explode more. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start her off and start leveling up. You can always throw your javs to start if you want. Thrown javelins do tons of damage. I mean, look at the damage difference between regular attack and a thrown. So throwing her javelins early can be really nice just for big damage. And we'll one-shot many mobs or two-shot many that may take a little bit more to attack. We'll go ahead and we will do the Den of Evil, but we will leave that for now with a TP. And starting off, we just want to get some gold. Our first skill point will go to Jab, as we will be going into Charge Strike, right? Or Power Strike, and then eventually Charge Strike. So we can put 1 point right there for now. Some nice gems dropping early. Now I am on players 8. One of the important things is you can type in single player. You can type /players. Okay, let me go here. Space. Oh, you don't even need the space. And then you can choose a number between 1 and 8. And whatever number you choose, that will be the player count that gets set. So this simulates as if there are more people in the game, which of course increases the difficulty of all the mobs, but of course also gives more experience. This is a nice thing that you can do just to make sure your experience can grow faster, especially in areas where you need it. So, and if you're on console, you can literally go to the gameplay settings, go down to the bottom, and here you can adjust the player count right here. Now online, this is not something you can do, right? Online, it is literally just going to be you play with other people, or there's other people in the game. So this just helps to kind of create that scenario so you're not always sitting there like, no, I can't, do anything because of that, or it just, I'm killing mobs way too fast, but there's no way to take advantage of it, right? The whole idea is you want to be able to take advantage of this. So 1 defense, whatever, it's not that great. I don't like having a shield super early for blocking, so I'm just going to leave that alone. I will go down to players 1, or maybe we'll go players 3, since we do have the throw jabs. We'll buy some more javelins. We'll repair the javelins we have. 10 fire res belt. It's fantastic. We will get rid of it later. If you have a lot of gold, you can look and pick up small things like this as well. But I'm also looking for a 2 open socket armor or 2 open socket helmet, as this can be really nice once we get some runes a little bit later. So, like I say, we'll be players 3, and we'll go down into the den. You can do the den on players 8 if you would like. Totally viable. I prefer doing it on players 1 or players 3 usually, because there's not any boss groups in here. And honestly, you'll kind of run out of some experience, and it just takes a little bit. But it's always, it's a pretty easy area, so if you do want to be a higher player count, you can. For stat points, you'll notice I haven't put any more stats or skills in. I'll go ahead and put 1 point into crit strike, as I will be putting a point in penetrate later on. And then I'll go ahead and just go vitality, and we'll go a little dexterity just to increase our chance to hit early right there. But our main thought is we're going to be putting most of our points in power strike, and then whatever synergies we can. So we'll be saving most of these points. We can also respec later on more into charge strike and stuff. So even this point in crit strike, we don't fully need to do, because we'll respec before we get down to pierce most likely anyways. But, we get a single point there, which is nice, right? Because we get 16% chance of crit strike, which doubles our damage. And we're doing a lot of physical damage right now. So it'll double any physical damage, which is the big thing. Now, if you throw out of jabs, that's totally fine. This is where we went ahead and purchased these extra jabs so we could do this, right? Because when you throw out of javelins, they'll just disappear if they're white javelins. What should I have mentioned? Alright, only 1 open socket. Again, I want a 2 open socket. This is because we can make a lot of things in a 2 open socket cap. We could make a lore later on in Nightmare. We could just put like 2 Rao runes in there. We could put 2 tier runes. So Rao runes would give fire res. Tier runes would give mana per kill. Oh yes, in D2R, the charge strike synergy has also changed to not include Lightning Fury. So in the past, Lightning Fury was a synergy for Charge Strike. That is no longer the case. So it's a little bit weaker earlier on, and then it grows to be a little bit stronger later. Just a small thing to note. Yeah, Charge Strike is very solid because it releases those bolts. And each of those charge bolts has tons of damage. So against like Baal, you can just really crush them. Mob left. Perfect. Now you can open a town portal here, or you can just save quit. Both are okay. We'll go back up here. And we'll grab some more javelins. We'll look for 2 sockets. And we got a 2 socket right there. Good enough for me. Upped Titans is very nice later on. The biggest issue is the quantity will eventually like burn out if you're running around cows or something. So a lot of times you want to have like 2 pairs. We'll go ahead and buy a couple mana potions and, you know, just kind of get a few extra potions. We can see how it goes later. But Power Strike will be our main use there. Now, one of the reasons that you do save quit is you get to respawn these guys. I was on players 3. So I can kill Bishibosh again. And whenever you have a boss group right next to a portal like this, whether it's Bishibosh or, you know, obviously Eldritch in like Act 5, you can just keep resetting over and over if you want to just come back in and fight him again. I get to kill him. I get to kill his minions. This can be a nice way to pick up a little extra farm, pick up a little bit of experience. You know, maybe I find a cool item. Who knows, right? So if you, you know, want to do that, you can do that as much as you'd like until it really stops giving you enough experience. But I'll go ahead and continue forward. I do want to get to level 6. I'll go more vitality. Our main focus is going to be building up some early life. And hitting level 6. And I do like chip gems, as we can use chip gems later on to reroll stuff. Now we will be starting with, like I said, Power Strike, and we'll be going Lightning the whole way through for this build. However, if you do want to spec into Lightning later, Poison Javelin is actually extremely strong. Like the strongest starter piece, and we'll actually even need a point in it anyways to get into Charge Strike. So, you know, we could run some of that if we want, but I can also just not, because it's the lightning's on, you know, whatever. But we can use Power Strike now. And we can go for Rakinishu. We also have level 6, where Strangling Gas Potions can be really nice if you aren't using the Poison Jav. So do not underestimate Poison Gas Potions on any of your characters. They are very good. And Rakinishu being lightning enchanted, it kind of also makes some sense to be trying to kill him, not so much with lightning damage, you know. So poison can be a nice way to get the kill. And we leveled up, so we'll just continue pumping Power Strike, and we'll hold these other 2 skills that we have. Isn't Titan's better for P-Strike and T-Strike's better for Fury? Yeah, I mean, like I say, it kind of is. They both are good in their own ways. I'd say Titans ends up generally being the preferred to have. I believe it's the other way around, right? Isn't T-Strokes better for, like, bossing? And Titan's better for spamming out? Or Lightning Furies. So while your damage will be decent, I mean, again, this is players 8 here. It is a decent mana cost, so we will have to go back and get some more mana potions for sure. But also, it's not going to be AoE here. She does have nice AoE damage later on, but for now, we are just going to be stabby stabby. So, they focus on leveling up. You can kill as much or as little as you want while you're playing through. We'll go more vitality and vitality. We also could put some points in energy. I don't think that is out of the question. There's some characters like the Barbarian where putting points in energy really feels pretty bad because he gets 1 point per. And it's just kind of rough. I feel like Amazon, I don't hate it every now and then, just having a little bit extra. I do need some more mana potions, and we got a boss group right there, so we will go back. We'll go ahead and take 1 to max damage for now and 1 to dex. Can always replace these later. 2 max, 10 cold res, 10 attack rating, 5 life. Now, you know, we can always come back and shop another 2 open socket armor to make our stealth in. So I'm actually just going to shove these into here. I could also just put them in a helm. This can be a nice, easy way to just get a little bit extra damage going on in the early game. So a lot of times I think people get afraid and are a little too hoardy. Is that a word? They hoard too much for all of their things. And it's like gems and jewels and all that stuff. Go ahead and use them. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Right, so I'm actually going to grab both of these. Look, we've already got 3 more 2 open socket armors right here. Like, it's very easy to get 2 open socket armors from normal. Put those there. We'll save that right there. And let's go ahead and buy another 2 socket armor. Go ahead and grab that one. And we'll put those over there and save them for later. And now we can still have all this, and I do want to repair. One more thing to do. Okay, now we can go back. And remember, we also have strangling gas potions, which can be beneficial. Especially when you have like an extra strong group here of misshapens. They can be a little bit nasty and sometimes deal a little bit more damage than you want to fight. So kind of spreading them out, chipping away at them with some gas can be really nice. Or again, you know, we do have the poison gas potion, or the poison javelin. So we could even throw the 1 point we have in there if desired. Not a big deal. Let's keep going up with Power Strike. And just increasing that lightning damage, it also gives an attack rating boost for it, which is nice. Hello, how's it going? You always started season with the Source, because telling MF gear later on? Yeah, I mean, Sorceress is just like the classic character everybody starts with, because it's hard to beat a free Enigma, essentially. It's also very easy to stack Magic Find gear on her, because she just does tons of damage. So you don't need to have, you know, everything invested over in like having stuff for killing. That being said, the Amazon is actually a pretty decent league starter. You're just going to be a little limited in where you can take her. So that's my only like complaint with her is, you know, it can be, until she gets a lot of good gear, it can be kind of hard to take her around. So you're going to spend a lot of time in like the cows and stuff. You're not going to be farming as much of like your Shaco and all that. You're going to be farming more high runes in those pieces. Another point in Power Strike. And I'll continue with the Vitality here. We do have Cold Enchanted over here. So I'm going to fight these brutes. But I'll probably leave that boss alone. Or I'll be very careful fighting him. Because, again, when you are a physical character like this, or just a character that relies on attack speed, the Cold Enchant is just super brutal, so you really don't want to get hit by it. So we will fight the boss and continue forward. Now, why am I spending so much time focusing on the bosses? Well, bosses give 500% experience. They're also 3 levels higher than the area, or a regular mob within it. So it's really nice to have that, because that's just worth so much more experience. And they also are going to replenish your potions some and stuff, which can be nice. Question for you. I'm leveling a Amazon as a Boson, but eventually going to switch. Not sure when to change over. I have Titans and Skill Gloves, which is 52. It's still doing good damage with her Lycanders. You'll probably want to switch when you get to Hell, or at like the end of Nightmare. Kind of feel it out. Thanks, Bardock. You can very much switch at 52. You can definitely switch into Lightning Fury Charge Strike, and you will probably be stronger than your Boson is currently. But if you're enjoying the Boson, might as well keep playing it, wait it out, and then switch it over. Bardock, thank you. Okay, we found the waypoint. Or not the waypoint, we have to go find the waypoint. Wager on Cowboys over under full custom run of chat's choice. Well, what do I win when I'm right? Viewers? Wow.
I need a key.
That is all the shrines right next to each other. But this waypoint is non-existent. Like, where is it? Did I already get it at the start or something? No. All right, must be over left. Well, Vegas set the over-under at 7.5 for the Cowboys. So I will take the over on that. And if you want to bet me, find something to bet me. Bardock GG, thank you for the sub. Is that sub kind of accurate? We have one sub, I guess, now. Everybody unsubbed, so. Right, Crush?
What's that smell?
So, down here in the tower, you will find one boss group per level about 90% of the time. About 5% of the time, you'll find, well, maybe less. 2% of the time, 3% of the time, you'll find no boss group on a level. And the other, like, 7% of the time, you'll get 2 boss groups per level, which only comes when you have a very specific tile. So once you find the boss group, you are generally pretty good to move down to the next level. Hello. Do I hold all the speedrunning records? No. Any way to get rid of Smite's knockback? No. I got a few records though. We're doing all right with them. See, like this one had no boss. But this one may have 2 because it has this very specific set here. Now, you also don't need to kill every single boss group. For instance, those are champion or a boss group of archers with curse, which is a pretty deadly boss group. So there's kind of a couple ways that I would consider fighting it. The first is clearing out everything else around here, because there's too many mobs right now. And then kind of bringing them in to fight more one-on-one, you know, as a group here. Trying to use the door to my advantage. See if I can, like, bring one of them through the door a little bit. Okay, she's right here. We're going to dive her. There we go. And we're able to get her without being cursed again. So that's nice. But again, sometimes you just avoid it. If it's like cold enchanted archers, you usually just run away from it. You don't have to fight every single boss group. Even that one, totally fine to just ignore. So we will only end up with 1 boss group because the L shape was early in the map. So a lot of times if it's early, you only get the 1, but if it's late, you can get 2. Here's another L shape. So this tile right here gives you the opportunity to have 2. It's the only way you will get 2 boss groups in your tower in normal. Now in Nightmare in Hell, obviously the tower gets bigger, there's more mob spawns, so you can get more. Curse puts amp damage on you, which means you take 100% increased physical damage. So it's pretty brutal. Let's see, doesn't look like we'll have a second boss group. Again, the L shape is early in our tower, so. Doesn't Tower 5 always have at least 1 boss group plus Countess? No, sometimes it just has just the Countess. Okay. So we will go here. We now have Power Strike, and we have Lightning Bolt as well, if we wanted to kind of throw from afar. Now, one of the things you'll note is Lightning Bolt does not have an attack rating. So Lightning Bolt is always going to be hitting, whereas Power Strike does have an attack rating on it. And before we kill the Countess, we always drop down to players 1. The reason is players 1 is the most rune drops for the Countess. It's the only mob in the game where that happens. Every other mob in the game essentially is always like the same with whatever, or you get more drops from them. But for Countess, less player count equals more runes. It's just a weird way that the game is set with all of that. So just know that that's the case. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of one of those pairs of jabs, and we'll fill up a little bit more on mana pots. And we will go to 25 strength. This will allow us to wear a belt that can get 12 potion slots. And I'll continue. And you just need to change. Oh my god. Always, right? You just need to change back to players 1 before she dies. You know, you just want it in the speed run, the first drop Taleth, and it never happens. But always in the guided playthrough, it happens. So this will be our stealth right there. Make sure you make it in a gray. Notice that like this cap I have right here is mechanics. Even though it has sockets, it is blue. You cannot make a rune word in this. Why do I have this? Well, I wanted to put 2, I wanted to put 2 chip sapphires in it to go ahead and get 20 to mana, so I could just increase my early mana pool. Another point there. And you can do a couple of things at this point. You can either continue running forward if you'd like. I'm level 13. That's decent enough to continue running forward. Or you can do more tower runs. Most likely you're going to continue doing more because you probably won't have found Taleth on your first run. And you want to find Tal and Ethrune again, as that will make stealth, which gets you some faster hit recovery, some FCR, which isn't really used a lot for us at all, but it does get us faster run walk, which is very nice to have early on. We'll take a look really fast. He is lightning enchanted. So one thing to note is you don't have to kill the bosses themselves. Just killing any of the guys that say minion underneath them. So if you looked at any of that, if you rewind really quickly, you can see. It says minion. I'll leave that there in case I didn't before. It says minion right underneath their name. Those guys are also +3 skill, or +3 levels, and 500% experience. So it is worth it killing them as well. Champions are worth 300% experience, so still solid, but not quite as good. Again, all the shrines packed right next to each other. Thanks, Carl. True, Mike. And here you can see my chance to hit is not perfect, so there are times I am missing. It's a little unfortunate.
So, this is the site of Duriel's atrocities.
Okay, we got another. So you can see that says Yeti minion. So I know each of these Yetis right here is a minion. And this boss is extra fast. We'll go ahead and kill, level up. And our goal is getting to level 18, as that is when Charge Strike comes online, and Charge Strike is just the superior strike. Plain and simple. Yeah, you got to be careful with the blue gear. It's very easy to accidentally buy a mechanic's cap or a mechanic's leather armor and then put it in and go, wait, why did I not get stealth? When would I imbue on a Javazon? You can either try and imbue early at level 19 to try and get 20 faster run walk boots. If you do it on a plain boot, not like a heavy boot or anything, just the boots, pair of white boots that you can shop at Jeet or whatever. And that can get up to 20 fast run walk. But a lot of times, if I'm not speedrunning, that's like less important. Now, fast run walk is obviously still good. That's why we're going to use stealth, and why stealth is so good, because fast run walk is just a lot of safety. But I'm generally more focused on maybe like imbuing a javelin or something, especially like a maiden javelin or just any Amazon specific javelin. If I can do that early, then, or not even early, but you know, whenever, then I can get that plus to jav and spear skills from it. And then I also get whatever small benefits on top of it. Maybe I roll something nice. Gloves are good to imbue for a Javazon. I probably wouldn't imbue gloves. I'd rather just go shop some gloves and try and shop a pair of like 220s early on, or even just +2 to javelin and spear skills. Or some 20 IAS, right? It depends. And here we go. Here we actually got 2 bosses on this level, which, like I said, is only possible when you have this very specific tile here. So, and we have that tile again, so this is another level that we have the potential to get 2 bosses on. And this is why I like farming the tower. You can generally farm on players 8 up to about level 17.
Hey Llama, hope all is well with the fam.
Thanks, Lion
Keep
Oil.
up the good work.
We'll leave that boss. He's lightning enchanted, and I just don't feel like fighting lightning with lightning. Crushing Blow fits the Amazon good or no? Crushing Blow is alright on the Amazon. The thing is, Charge Strike does so much damage already that a lot of times you don't need it. Ooh, early cap is fun. Alright, I moved that. Which one is it? Yeah. Usually almost always Sanders. Now, I do lose 20 to mana with that drop, but I gain 10 all res and 20% damage taken goes to mana, which is a nice way to get a little bit of mana back from it. So, worth using. We'll go down to players 1 again. Maybe we can pick up some like Rao runes or tier runes to help with mana per kill later on. Wait, my website has AI art on it? Does it? We're not using any AI art. I should probably remove that from the... Maybe that was just like some random mock-ups somebody did early. LlamaRPG.com. Oh. Paint was messing around with it, yeah. No, we're not going to use AI art. I think Paint just enjoyed himself with it for a second.
Good day.
Alright. Also, if you ever want to refill the quantity, I've got like these white javelins right here. I can just sell them and buy them back, and now they're 90 quantity. I have 1 strangling gas potion. I sell it. I buy it back. I now have, 25. This one had 24. 25, right? So that's an easy way to get back your quantities of all those various things. Cool. I'm level 15, almost 16. I'm going to go ahead. Generally with the tower, you can go up to about level 17 before the experience starts to really fall off. So we'll go ahead and just... Yeah, I haven't really updated the website in any capacity. So kind of ignore that. I did today, this morning, just build out my ice dungeon a little bit. I'd already built the base of it, but I went and like put all the walls and everything up. And I didn't realize how big I made the ice dungeon, but it is massive. Or maybe it's not massive and the other dungeon is just small. But I have another dungeon in the game that's like literally 1/8 the size of the ice dungeon. So, whoopsies. Oh, here we go. We got a guaranteed boss over here and a guaranteed champion pack. Certain tiles will guarantee generations of things.
I can't carry anymore. I can't carry.
And here's probably our boss group over here.
I can't carry anymore.
Well, I have ice llamas. Well, the llamas aren't from Iceland. So, you won't be an ice. There's no ice llamas. Another point to power strike. We're getting close. Level 16. Can you do a hell speedrun with a blindfold? Unfortunately, Diablo 2 doesn't really have enough audio cues for a blindfold run to work. Like, it's hard to tell that I'm running into a wall here, you know?
Overburdened.
You get a llama spit attack, yes. Best level to shop for 2 open socket, +3 to fireball staff for leaf. Probably around like what, 8, 7, 8, something like that would be the best.
What nightmarish tortures took place here? I am over.
Wow, we got the Tome of Identity from the bookshelf.
Moo.
Thanks, Donut. What's the hell tactics for this Zon? TP or just run? So, one thing that you might be thinking about is, cool, Mr. Llama, you deal lightning damage. There's a lot of lightning immunes in hell. How do I deal with those? And the answer is always, as with any of the cases of that, there's 2 answers. 1, run past him. I guess 3 answers. 2, get a lower resist wand, and use the lower resist wand to fight them there. So you can maybe break their immunity and then go kill them. Or 3, get a mercenary and or have a Valkyrie and have one of those two be able to kill them. Valkyrie is the easier answer because she just is super strong. Mercenary, you'll have to like gear up a lot. You could also, of course, dual spec into poison or something if you wanted, I suppose. But this is the lightning Zon, not the dual spec Zon, so for this case, we're not dual specking. But maybe, again, maybe we'll get a Valkyrie or something later and just have her help out. Because even just having peace is enough to get a strong Valkyrie. Yeah, Plague Javelin's actually really good. Low resist doesn't work on all of them. Yeah, low resist, not every lightning immune gets broken with it, but most do. 90% of lightning immunes probably get broken. Maybe like 40 to 50% of fire immunes, and like 10 to 15% of cold immunes or something. Cold immunes just have such high res, it's hard to even break it.
I am overburdened.
And again, we'll save these chip gems for rolling later on, so don't worry too much about that. Doing pretty good on levels, especially for only 2 tower runs. Because you can easily run, you know, 4, 5, 6 tower runs on this character. And kind of, you know, get stuck looking for your Taleth and then level up a lot. I'm going to be careful with the Might Aura. I'm going to try and focus on killing this boss before all of his minions join in the fight. That'll help a lot. And I'll probably be going back to town soon as I need mana. And we've leveled up, which means we do have 17 unlocked. Which, as everybody knows, means stealth is here. So let's go ahead and make our stealth. Taleth.
Good day.
Perfect. And now I get that early faster run walk. Again, stealth just really nice for that. Also, hey, 6 dex, regen mana 15%, little magic damage reduction. You know, some nice things. The hit recovery is solid. But really we want, you know, that faster run walk. It just does so much, especially your like first points of faster run walk. And a little poison resist for Duriel, that's right. Half freeze duration on boots is kind of interesting because that's actually pretty useful. I'll actually swap my belt as I do want to get the additional slot in the belt. So that's worth a little bit more to me. We'll hold off. We have 25 stat points. I have not been good about this, but we're pretty much just going to be jamming all in vitality. Again, the idea for like strength and dex will come later when we want to get some plus skills on a just on something, right? For on our javelins, whatever we can get there. Can be really nice, as plus skills is really your main damage boost for this. For this room, I'm going to throw down a lot of my Strangling Gas potions, as Charge Strike might be a little bit difficult. Or, I mean, Power Strike. And we'll try and kill a few of them this way. Kill some shamans. There we go. So usually pretty decent experience in these rooms. Obviously, when they've been resurrected, they don't give experience, but until that point, it can be nice. We'll go down to level 2. Chip gems are really good for re-rolling to try and get a charge or a teleportation staff, or a staff with low resist charges if you want, or you can roll it again. What a map! Just to get money, right? So I'll show that a little bit later on. But chips are one of my favorite things to save. Yeah, all side. We've done that one. So let's find level 4. I've rolled a TP staff a few times, probably like 3 or 4 times in a speedrun. Happens more than you think, but not often enough that you can like ever rely on it, you know. All right, now I will go down to players 1 for Duriel. If you do want to kill her for like a little bit more item drops, players 3 would be the maximum that I would fight her at, really. Anything above players 3 is usually pretty like not much difference for bosses. Hi, Agni. Thank you. Now we'll come in here and we'll try and clear out some of this so we can maybe just fight Duriel a little bit more straight up without dudes being resurrected nonstop and stuff. And we should be able to take her on pretty well, as we do have pretty good damage. Again, the Amazon actually has pretty decent single target damage. So like players 3 we could have done.
This maiden shall
I wouldn't really go much higher than that.
Anguish.
And just like that, Act 1 done.
Llama, it's been a while since the last guided playthrough for an Amazon. Are you planning on making another Shaco drop in the Black Marsh like last time? Or
Oh, yeah,
are you
that's
going
right.
to make it a diadem this time around? Just wondering what to expect going forward.
Maybe we'll drop a Griffins this time. And sure, 5 strength, little cold res, little MF, 555. I also do like having the sapphire, as we could potentially shove that in like a helm or something.
How may I help you?
And we can sell this. Go here, do this. Magic find on gloves or fire res. I'm actually gonna go for the early magic find. Magic find. Your first point of magic find is the most valuable piece of magic find. Every other point after that is slightly less valuable. So the first point is the most important, the second point is the second most important, etc. So if you can get a little early boost of magic find like that, it can really do a lot for your character. So honestly, there's a ton of great ways to just shop some early sweet stuff. So that's always something to think about. No, I didn't get sick again. I was just really, really tired and took baby Lilith to gymnastics yesterday, and I was just worn out after that. Because, you know, when you take them to gymnastics, you have to go do like all the gymnastic stuff. I'll go down into the Stony Tomb. Stony Tomb's actually pretty good experience. You get the 2 boss groups down on the bottom level, which can be nice. And I am on players 1 still. I'll go back up to players 8 before we head down there. Let's try and pick up that experience. Yeah, I was on players 1 still from Duriel, but now we're going to shift out of it. Let's see what we have here. Looks like we have a mage boss group. And I'd love to get that charge strike going in here.
I can't carry anymore.
If we could have that for a creeping feature, that'd be really nice. Which is the boss group over to the right side. Alright. Charge strike. I don't need penetrate anymore. I could have put a point in dodge and avoid there instead of having this crit strike. I probably should have saved one for those as they can be useful. So here I can go there for a little bit more damage. Let's go ahead and put a point in dodge. Improve our belt ever so slightly. And we will go to Charge Strike. Now again, remember, Charge Strike will always hit. So that is one of the really nice things. Also, it has a Charge Bolt release on it. Thus, we go from being a single target build now to an AoE build. Which is nice. Now it is just level 1, so obviously we want to level up more. But also creeping feature is cold enchanted, so we are going to try and avoid his hits himself. Just hit all of his minions, and we'll call that good enough. How does Runwalk work? Like Magic Find, first percent more valuable than others? It's a little different, but kind of yes. You have EFRW and then FRW. So sources that give EFRW, like Frenzy and Burst of Speed and things like that, are going to be different than sources that give faster Runwalk, like you would find with whatever you call it. We actually have a really good power strike still, so it actually is, it's tough to think which one is actually better, because we do get the AoE from the 3 different bolts on the charge strike. But single target, our power strike is going to be better right now, it looks like. But generally speaking, yes. If you can get that early, like, stealth, the first 10% faster Runwalk or 20% faster Runwalk piece of gear you have is worth more than the next piece. Have I ever done Elemental Druid? Yes. Yeah, I think level 1, the power strike is actually slightly better. Especially with decent chance to hit there. We got the 95%. Let's go ahead and get more vitality. But Charge Strike we can use for the AoE, so that'll be our main focus. All builds are fun if you want them to be. I mean, I do think that is a pretty true statement, actually. Like, I've had fun with the Arctic Blast Druid, you know, like, It just kind of depends a little bit on the speed that you expect and stuff. That's such a big difference for all of that. Okay, next point, charge strike. So if you're okay with a run or a character being a little slower and stuff, can really have it be a good time. I am Italian, Fernando. But I do have an Argentina jersey that I wear sometimes. Okay. Well, we have the waypoint there, so we can come back and do more of that later. Yeah, like for me, I actually did not really enjoy my Zeal Sorceress playthrough that much. Probably one of my least enjoyed runs that I did. But for some people, they really like it. I think it'd be better with some gifted gear, you know, if I like have a grief to give myself and stuff. But Super Hardcore Paladin made it to Act 3 of Nightmare before he wore out. And honestly, felt like it'd be really hard to go a lot further. There's a tier rune. Talked about some mana per kill. Also, at this point, a shield would be fine. Kind of like if we want it. We'll probably look to get a rhyme later on. Perfect. And we're still just on players 8 here, remember, like. Which, this is, if you can, you know, keep a character on players 8 for a majority of the run, it can put you in a really great spot. Especially for physical characters, because physical characters like this, even though she's like elemental technically with the stuff, she's still like manually going up and meleeing them and stuff. And you just want to be able to kind of keep your like character level a little higher, right? Obviously, for a character that requires attack rating, that helps your chance to hit. But again, even without the attack rating, just having a better chance to hit or having like a higher level means you get more plus to skills, means you get more plus to life, and just kind of allows you to exist and sit in there a little bit more as opposed to when you're under leveled. It can just be really difficult. So that's why, you know, I am kind of killing a little bit more than you might normally see me kill, right? Especially in like a speedrun. Because I want to just maintain a little bit more. Just kind of keep my life a little bit higher. Keep my character level a little bit higher, etc., etc., etc. Use Blessed Aim Merc to boost attack rating. True, yeah, we could actually go and get a mercenary as well. In fact, I'll go ahead and do it just for the sake of the speedrun. 10% faster run walk. Also, chance for Frost Nova Gloves can be very nice. I'm gonna go ahead and grab those. I like Magic Find as well, but like, I love chance for Frost Nova on a melee character. If I had an open socket, I may just put that tier rune in it, but I like this Infernal Cranium right now. But we can hire a mercenary. Again, I don't really need Blessed Aim, but Blessed Aim can still be good for the mercenary to hit. So that can be nice. We could also get prayer just for a little bit of healing. Those would be the two I would really consider. I'll go ahead and grab the prayer mercenary this time, though I do think blessed aim is slightly better. 72 strength, 53 dex. So we can look and grab something that's like, yeah, that's pretty nice.
I'll put that to
And we'll give a weapon to him. You really are going to want to give them a weapon at least. Otherwise, you're not going to have a good time. What are good boots for a blizzard sorceress? Depends. A lot of times war traps because it's just magic find. So that tends to be your like most used. But you could also run some treks if you want for strength and vita. You could run some like water walks for life. You could run Alder's boots for fire res because if you have spirit, you're not getting fire res there. So, kind of some options. Again, depends your goals a little bit with the character. Silk weaves for mana per kill. Yeah. Underrated stat. If you don't have an insight mercenary especially. Another point to charge strike. Again, this will just be really like the more we can boost up that charge strike, the better. If you do have a waypoint near Beetle Burst, this would be one of my recommendations for a place to farm a couple of levels. Beetle Burst is just a nice, quick farm that can be really solid. 9 to energy is kind of nice. I'd lose the 5% magic find I have, but I would gain some energy, and you know, I like the energy again. Again, I do love magic find, but I will focus a little less on it right now. And there you can see that Chance for Frost Nova proc. Just so good. It just slows down everything around you. It's such a high defensive skill to have.
I can't carry anymore.
Also remember, if your mercenary does need some help, you can always do shift 1, 2, 3, or 4, and that will give them the potion in that belt slot immediately. So he can only drink health and rejuice, but and antidotes and thawing and whatever, but can't drink mana. Just something to note. Also, you can just drag a potion over his portrait and click it. I don't really need attack rating anymore, so we'll go ahead and take the MDR1, even though it's not that big. Put a random armor on him for now, why not? Why not? Another tier rune. Again, mana per kill. At 2 tier runes, it's a little tempting to put 2 tier runes in a helm and just have 4 mana per kill. That would do a lot. But we're doing okay with the mana right now. Yes, you can for good. Charge Strike's such a powerful skill. It's really good. It's now getting to the level of being very strong. Now that we're getting a few points in it.
Let there be light.
Hello, how you doing? I'll go ahead and give him that armor because it's got a little AR and max damage on it, so why not? And sure, we'll just get rid of those. We'll put this in here.
There's nothing the right poison can't cure.
That all works for me. Low DPS. My DPS is pretty good. I'm happy with it. Again, this is players 8, so... Thanks, Kieran. And I can actually remain players 8 through the Maggot lair if I want. Which, not many characters are going to do that. But here you can see. It's nasty. Nasty damage. Did I miss the rune drop? No, I got the L. Not that it much matters. L rune's not really anything we're going to care about here, but... When did I start streaming? Yeah, about 10 years ago. Are we past the 10? I think we're past it, right? 10 and a half? It's a lot of Diablo 2, man. A little added poison damage. D2 never gets old. It's true, thankfully. Well, I am excited for Llama RPG to eventually come out, so I can jam on that a little bit.
I can't carry anymore.
Again, I want to like show you guys the hilarity of, but I don't want to spoil the dungeon, you know.
No.
No more boring tuna, no more boring life. Happy 7-Eleven day.
Let me see if I can like blur it some. All right. Let me show you guys because this is just so funny. So I was walling. Let me do this. Do this. Do this. Go here. I made a dungeon today. And it just got like funny. So I'm going to put a blur on it. There we go. That's good enough. So here, here is a regular dungeon size. And here is the size of the ice dungeon. Whoops. So 1, 2, 3. It's about 4.5 times the size. This is funny. So either the other dungeon is really small, which it is decently small, or Ice Dungeon is massive. I'm thinking Ice Dungeon is closer to the proper size and the other one's just tiny. But it was pretty funny seeing it like appear next to it and like, oops, because I did not build them in relation to each other. Will we ever get Llama RPG on hand consoles? Hopefully. The idea is to try and have Llama RPG by end of this year. And then that'll be PC Steam. And then if it does decent enough, I'm selling, you know, if we can get a couple thousand copies sold, you know, a few hundred players on at a time, whatever. Then we'll do like a console and mobile port of it. Thank you. I've been doing a lot of balancing this week with the game. Trying to balance in all the proper like stamina versus mana versus health values and all of that. It'll be a full price game. It'll be full priced at $9.99, which is so much less than I should be selling this game at. But I mean, maybe not, right? But the amount of effort and content it has, yes. Maybe it's not that good though, and that's what it is. But I'm trying to make a game that is not too expensive. At the same time, I'm trying to put a lot of stuff in it where it should be more expensive. So, you know, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? It's been a bit since I did a lore playthrough.
It is an honor to serve you.
Yeah. It should be selling, in my opinion, the retail price it should sell at is probably around $24.99 or so. But
Good day.
I already promised everybody. All right, we'll continue with vitality here. Again, I don't really have any reason to jam more strength at this moment. Later on, if we respec out, we can shift into some strength. And we may do so again later when we shift into more of like a Lightning Fury style build, right? $10 is a better price. All right, $10. Whatever, $10. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of balance, trying to figure out. The main thing is trying to figure out what should be like the proper amount of life that you have versus a monster has, and how many turns should your encounters last. Because right now, I think they don't last long enough. So I think it should be higher for you and the mob. Because the idea with the encounters is you should learn and then consider. Because you gain information as a fight goes on. So as I fight a monster, I see the weapons that they have. I see the, you know, spells that they have, whatever. I mean, spells I can know, but I can literally learn the weapons they have, and then I can say, okay, this mob has a really good, you know, cold bow, and so I want to protect against a cold bow. If a battle only lasts 1 to 2 turns, you don't really have that, you know. You will not be hitting for 24 billion damage. You'll be happy to hit for 24 damage.
I am overburdened.
So. At level 1, isn't health usually 10x? Fallen has 3 HP, you have 30. Yes, but like if I gave a Fallen 3 HP, a battle would be dumb in this. Remember, this is a turn-based, like a JRPG. What am I doing? See, all you have to do is fake it out. The game thinks, oh, he went that way, and then I'm like, no, I'm going to go this way, and then I turn around. And then I'm like, I'm going to go this way, and then I turn around. And now we have a guaranteed first way because the game thought this was going to be my fourth way. This is how you mind game a game that always tries to give you 4 ways. Which you guys probably won't have that issue, but my game is glitched or something. Has designing your own game given you an appreciation you didn't have for game design? Yeah, definitely. Because there's just a lot more. There's so many tiny details. It's really stupid.
I can't carry anymore.
Like, so many details. 14 to life, 1 max. So again, stuff like 1 max damage and stuff doesn't really matter for us. Even this poison damage is pretty whatever. So we'll just kind of stick right here. And first way. Told you. You just gotta make the game believe it's the 4th way.
It's locked.
It's all up in there. Come at me, game. Okay. So now we're going to the tomb. Remember, it tells you the symbol there. It goes circle on the left, then moon, then square, then star, sun, then double down arrow, then triangle, then circle over moon. So we need to go all the way to the far right. We'll be good. Also shoot an ollie. Does it feel weird to heal again? Definitely. But another point in charge strike. Yeah, it kind of is like simple shapes on the left, weirder stuff on the right, with the exception of triangle. Honestly, is how I remember most of it. Or how I did at first. Now I just, obviously know all of them, but... Triangle's the weirdest shape? Well then, weird shapes on the right. Also, a rare spear I don't really care about. I mean, I guess I'm not even using a shield right now, really, but... Oh, I don't have enough strength. Yes, let's go ahead and go 5 more strength. That's right, I swapped out my amulet. So we can wear our boots. You gotta get a little speed, Joggy. This is also one of those cases where having this... Whenever you get, like, surrounded with a lot of stuff, having that chance for Frost Nova just becomes so valuable. So very good. Okay. Let's get ready to go wreck Duriel's face. But yeah, so it's a turn-based game, and so the thought behind it is, again, I want each battle to kind of be more meaningful. Now, you should probably still win more of your battles, right? Like, it shouldn't be every battle's like a 50-50 chance to win, because that wouldn't really make sense. That'd be a horrible game. That'd be, like, absolutely brutal, and you'd never be able to go anywhere. But... the idea should definitely be you're considering, do I keep moving forward or do I like portal back home in a way and, heal and get more potions and things like that. So maybe like every 3rd or 4th battle, your resources should be pretty depleted. Something along those lines. And you can spend more time farming here as well. I mean, I'm already level 23.5, which is pretty good through Act 2. That's like pretty high. But you can spend even more time doing it if you want. Sorry, Askell. I'll go down to P1 for Duriel, as fighting him on player's 8 is not the most fun. 6 to life, 10 poison res. I mean, you know, these charms are like okay, but they're not quite high enough to really value them a ton. And I will go ahead and buy some thawing potions because, as I may have mentioned, in plenty of other videos I have, but for some of you might not know, every time you drink a thawing potion, you gain 50 cold res for 30 seconds. So now I have 2 minutes of cold resist. And with that, I will go in and fight Duriel. And again, like I told you guys, the single target on this character is nutso. She is very, very strong. We'll go ahead and give this to our mercenary.
This is not good. Will this madness...
Yeah, she just powers through because each of those charge strike bolts does 1 to 253 damage, and she's getting 4 of those charge bolts at a time, and they're all hitting Duriel because he's, you know, a larger target.
Good day.
Yes, the cold resist doesn't stack. It's always 50%, but the duration stacks. So, with that being said, give yourselves a clap, everybody. We'll go back up to Players 8. Welcome to Act number 3. Oh, one of the combat skills, Paladin. You're killing it. How easy has that been?
What would this bring from the right buyer?
Right? It's been nice and smooth, and again, this is really where she starts just picking up more and more. That, like, first point... Why do we have candy corn?
You said you liked it.
Oh, I was kind of joking.
What?
What? Thank you. Does anybody like candy corn, really?
Why don't you make things easier?
No, babe, no. Babe. Babe, no. Thank you for the candy corn. Uh-oh. Did she say she put the baby's foot in it? Nice and easy. Again, players 8, just crushing. You'll want some form of life tap, probably completion. Also depends what class you are. But if you can't get like Drax, something that's easy is literally shop a life tap charges wand and then just keep it on your swap. And just like keep recasting life tap. Dang, we hit 24 already. Candy corn is good. I don't know what's about it, you know? How often do you need to... You tried Life Tap 1 with your mosaics in. Oh, you don't need it for mosaic. Mosaic, you just need to run the dragon, whatever, the middle one, Cobra Strike. True, Nathan. The life tap, it lasts longer than 10 seconds. It's like 20 seconds or something. For the charges that you'll be shopping. So it's like decent, but it will fall off. So you just have to watch for it and be careful. Cobra Strike doesn't work on Ubers?
I can't carry anymore.
Does she just maybe murder them so fast it doesn't matter?
I can't carry anymore.
I'm trying to think. I haven't done Ubers with her in a while. Am I making Ancient's Pledge? So, if I get Ralort Tal, I could make Ancient's Pledge, but my main desire would be to make a Rhyme Shield. Since it has Cannot Be Frozen, and that's really nice. But Ancient's Pledge also works. I could literally just get another random shield and put a couple like diamonds in it for some res or Rao runes right now. Like, you can have a shield at this point and put whatever you want in it. So happy Friday. Going to get a waypoint. And Great Marsh. Yeah, maybe the Mosaic Sin just murdered them so quickly it didn't matter. Oh yeah, I have like multiple Mosaic Assassins, and I just don't play them. Because they just kind of make the rest of, like, every other character pointless a little bit. Dang, Chef. Uber Meth is what kept getting you. You'll want to stack your lightning res to be as close to 300% as possible for Uber Mephisto.
I
Do I like other classes that have a similarly broken rune word? No, I want Mosaic to go away. Or be fixed, I should say. Well, Frost Nova is not really a skill to take forward. Unless you're in PB2. So you may want to spec into Blizzard or something. Why is Blizz holding out news on D2? I mean, are they at this point? I don't know. I don't even know what's... We've heard nothing from Australia. That whole thing, which is really weird. Usually there's a leak of some sort. Especially if there's something cool. But maybe they got a really good NDA there. Regular. Basically, Tuna, happy 7-Eleven day. Thank you for 69 months. I just still can't believe we haven't found anything out from it. Like, I really want to know what the heck they said. You know? Somebody in chat has to be in Australia and had to go to that, right? Like, somebody here knows something.
This dagger will separate the faithful from the fallen.
Sure, we can use that temporarily. Half restoration, little cold res, little block. That's not that good, but my rings completely suck. Kano says he doesn't know anything. But since when can we ever really trust what Kano says? But why would Kano get to be in on it and me not? I know it sounds whiny. Is it just because I talk trash about Diablo 4 a little too much? Did they really replace me as lead Kano as lead dev? I got replaced. Blizzard used to call me on my cell phone.
I can't carry anymore.
If I was in on it, I would have been down in Australia, my mate. I was here that whole time. Ooh, 24 fire res is very nice. Yeah, sure. Look, I didn't get dumped, okay. We just mutually agreed that things were maybe better if we took some time apart. It didn't dump me. Your face is so smug right now. I think that's just my normal face. Who dumped Llama? Nobody dumped me. Blizzard and I just agreed that maybe Kano gets the lead on the next cool thing. I guess. If I were to mark my relationship with Blizzard, it would just be it's complicated right now.
I can't carry anymore.
24/7 epi. We're just on a little break. I'm sure they'll come back to America any second now. Okay. Now, after this, we'll go ahead and grab our teleport staff. I'm a little late on it,
Carry anymore.
but it's fine. How to play this game for the first time? Follow one of Mr. Llama's guided playthroughs. 27 to fire res. I definitely like that. Cool. So what we want is a staff that has teleport charges. Okay? Not +2 teleport sorceress only, but teleport charges. Additionally, we want it to be not as expensive. For the sake of this guided playthrough, I'm just going to take some random gold. But I will show you at least how to boost your gold a little bit. So we'll do some showcases of ways that this all goes. So one of the things you can do is look for cheap staves, 2,000 gold. You can also get cheap wands if you want, because I don't want to reset this. 2,500, 3,500, 5,000. You can get cheap scepters, 27.91, whatever. Things that roll plus to skills. Okay. Then you can come over here. You can take chip gems. You can do 3 chip gems plus, and you can roll it. And here you can see it re-rolls the staff. It adds sockets, and in its re-rolling, we are now getting plus skills. So 3 to Thunderstorm, that'll be worth max money. I like to save, at least like 1 of each chipped, just for later on, if I want. No emeralds, so that's fine. So we can roll it. 1 to Blood Golem, 1 to Confuse. That's worth some money. Nothing on that one. We'll try again. 1 to Blood Golem, 1 to Iron Maiden. Nothing there. Oops. And I don't really need a diamond. 1 to Life Tap. So each one of these are now worth a lot of money, right? I could sell all of these for probably 30,000, 35,000, whatever. I can also sell them for 15,000 in normal here. So if there were, right now I've got like 50,000 gold, but I've got 5 things I could sell for 15,000 each, which gets me close to about 125,000 gold. So if there were one of these teleport staves that was 75,000, 100,000, something like that. I did not Skype. Then I can just sell these for gold. Otherwise, I like to save them for later gold. Oh, I have 4 of them, excuse me. So just something to note of a way that you can kind of get a little extra money. Like I say, for the sake of this being a guided playthrough and me not shopping over and over again, I'm just going to steal some gold for it. Now, if you want to deal with it and actually do the shopping, this would be the way to do so. You can either save quit, or you can just set a TP, because every time you leave town, you can come back in, and you could just search again. The cheapest you'll find this staff for is about 16,000. The most expensive is, hundreds and hundreds of thousands, such as this one was 250,000. That's generally way more than I would buy it for. So normally I would just keep coming back and just looking over and over. You can shop this as early as level 18, I technically believe. 19 is when we always consider the start, but 18 I think you can actually shop it. And if you shop it prior to level 24, it will be a red staff. By that, I don't mean the staff itself will be red. I mean, it'll be red around in the border, as in you cannot use it. So you don't need to look at every single staff if you shop it prior to level 24. Shop it generally at 23, 22, 21, whatever. And you can just come in, look. Let's say I was level 23 right now, I wouldn't even need to look at a single one of these staffs, because I would know none of them are level 24 required. Thus, none of them have the teleport charges on it. And I could just immediately leave and go back without looking at it. So just a fun little thing. Once you do that, you can set your teleport right there. And now you have teleport charges to go along with. So we will shop for right now the teleport staff, and then later on in Nightmare we will shop for a low resist one. As that is going to be level 36 required. So again, if you can shop for that before level 36, somewhere between level 30 and 35 there, you can only look at the wands that are unusable. It can save you a little bit of time in your shopping. But having a teleport staff and low resist charges 1. They're both just extremely beneficial for this run. Obviously lower resist to make it where you can deal damage to everything. But also the teleport staff, just for jumping over short walls or getting out of tricky situations. It can always be really helpful. What are good charms that could drop right now? No skillers can drop at this time. The big charms that you'd look for are ones like this. Just like big resistance charms. So resistance and life are pretty much the only things I'd really consider right now. Maybe like some faster unlock charms are okay. Yeah, I don't really need another Elrune. True. Some mana charms early on can also be really helpful. Especially for characters like this who can just use some mana. A little extra mana is helpful. Attack rating is not important. If you note, Charge Strike does not have an attack rating. Charge Strike always hits. Single cold damage charm can be nice. That is true. Also, we talked about gold a little bit there. Always going and just picking up like random staves, random armors, wands, all that stuff can all be really beneficial to just build your gold supply very quickly. Hey, look at that. 1 to 2 cold damage. So now you can see I have some cold damage as well. It's not a long time, but it is some of a time. I think I did a poison necro playthrough. I don't think it was like poison dagger through normal at least. Am I going to do Ubers? Do I have a tutorial for how to prepare? It's actually not a bad idea. Maybe we'll take this character to Ubers and do a little, like, prep talk on it. Yeah, my mercenary is doing fine, you know. I generally upgrade his weapon in Act 4 when I can get a pike. Now, when you get to the Cursed Bazaar, you want to look for this temple. Facing down to the bottom left. Always in the Cursed Bazaar. This is going to be the temple that has Serena. Battlemaid Serena 1 is not only worth a ton of experience, so just great for that. But 2 also is where Lamb Essence Tome is. Which we can turn in to get some stats. So again, if you feel like you're needing levels, which we are not, we're level 27, so we're really stacked. But if I was only like level 21 right now, 22, I'd either do more Flare Jungle or just run Battlemaid Serena over and over and over again. Where do you turn that in? You turn it in up here to Alcor. So we'll talk to Mephisto to get our golden bird. There's poison damage as well if we want. Added fire damage, I don't really care. And then here, we turn both in at the same time.
What can I do
So we get 5 stats, and we get this potion that gives 20 life permanently. Oopsies. Let's go here. Both of which are very nice benefits. And then we can just go into the sewers. When are we getting the new update for D2? If I knew, I'd break NDA and tell you. I mean, I wouldn't, but I also don't know. That tome was always a thing, yes. Maybe that's the reason you don't know. Okay. I don't know because Blizzard's being a little silly and deciding to go to Australia to share information instead of come here. All right? Nope. Always been right there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and grab the final organ. They also went to the Netherlands to discuss new content. Oh my god. How has nobody leaked this yet? Somebody tell me. I want to know. Good lord. Like, that's actually crazy. I'll go ahead and drop to players 1 for Travincal. I think we actually could do players 8, but you know, we'll be safe and easy with it. No credit. Post a reward for leaks. Jeez. That feels real shady. But I also do want to know.
Skatsing's reign is renewed.
Okay. You got the leaks via SMS. Do we not have phones? I do, but my phone is constantly playing Diablo Immortal. I can't look at anything else or do anything else with it.
I need a key.
So unfortunate. Now, we are in the Durance of Hate. If you want to get a place to farm, this can be an okay one at Mephisto. You can go down and do them on, like, we'll do players 3 Mephisto. We're letting it enchant. We'll do a players 3 Mephisto here. And you can put some Magic Find gear on, and you know, it's not the greatest farming spot because it's still just normal, but it does have okay item drops at this point for sure. And you can see we melt them pretty quickly, so if you can get a waypoint nearby to the Durance, you can come in here and you can farm some gear pretty quickly, which is really nice. And just like that, give yourselves the clap, everyone. Act 3 is done.
Greetings.
Well done. It's a pretty solid character, you know?
Not here.
What do you need?
You don't want to give yourself the clap? Then Mr. Llama will give you the clap himself. Just for you. Because I care. Go ahead and drop to players 1. Mostly because I don't want to fight Isual on a higher player count. We'll come back for Isual. Are we getting a Valk? I'll definitely at least get the Valk through Peace. Whether I'll get my own Valk beyond that, TBD. The Ancients, you will have a guaranteed light immune at Hell Ancients. And he's only sometimes breakable, so sometimes you have to reroll his mods. Alright, where is he? Huh. Okay. There he is. Oh my god. She does so much damage. You don't need multiple cold charms, so you can just keep the one. Do I want to get avoid and evade? Yeah. Let's do it. 1 point in each of dodge, avoid, and evade are really nice, especially as you start to get plus Amazon skills, boost them up a little bit. It's be really nice. Another Tal Eth. I'm actually pretty happy to just remain players 1 here. We could try a higher player count, but Act 4 can be kind of deadly. So having to spend time trying to like hit guys over and over again can be a little rough in here. So I kind of don't mind just like chipping them and then we'll level up more later. Peace armor. That'll be the armor we want to take all the way. Now, if we found some, you know, other sweet armor, or if we, you know, maybe a hustle could be nice. I'll do. A smoke could be nice. You know, like, those aren't bad. A treachery is always good. Big IAS plus fade. So there's a few different armors that have some potential, but peace is kind of the, like, easy guarantee one you can just snag from Nightmare Countess really easily. Two to strength, no thanks. And this is where being like a higher player count just feels pretty rough. Like, yes, I can hit these guys pretty quickly and kill them, but I can maybe do like players 3 in here and see how that feels and slowly work it up. Let's go ahead and give it a try. I'm down to play around with it. I'll probably raise the player count for the boss group specifically. Because those can be a nice experience, but just all the random mobs.
I can't carry anymore.
Like, eh. Stone skin will leave you alone. Yeah, we're just going pure lightning here. We already did a Plague Javelin Charge Strike playthrough, which really focused more on the poison aspect. So this is kind of focusing the other way. So Oblivion Knights with all their curses can be super annoying. So we want to kind of take them out before we just kind of like rush in and there's 50 of them and then we leave a bunch of them up and then it's... Plus all their range hits and some of them have cold damage and etc. Right. Okay, we'll go ahead and go players 8 right here, just for the experience.
What do you need?
Oh, cows for sure, Xtov. And there's those maiden jabs we talked about. This is not the easiest kill by any means, but good experience. We'll go back to players 3 and continue forward. So we just need 47 dexterity. And I'll go ahead and go a little more strength just to make sure. The rest can go into vitality. And now we've got maiden javelins. So we have +1 to javelin spear skills, which is very helpful. Again, every additional point you can get will be helping our charge strike, will be helping our lightning fury later on. So that'll be really nice. Spawn them on players 3 only, that's okay. Again, we're like really high on levels, 28.5 almost. That's pretty good through Act 4 here. I'm not super worried about it. And we can shift over to players 8. If I was on hardcore, I'd probably stay on P1 here, but or like P3 or something. But here we can increase it. And just make sure we go down to players 1 before Diablo, otherwise it'll be a little bit annoying. But even still, she's so strong, she'd probably murder him pretty quickly. Now here you can really see the benefit of the added cold damage, just to slow him down even a little bit. It's a little bit better as well, so we'll swap our shield out. Mainly looking at resistances and stuff there. Yeah, we can check out these throwing spears actually.
Greetings.
Yeah, I will go imbue this weapon most likely.
I can't carry anymore.
See what we got.
Anymore.
Nothing that exciting.
Hail to you, champion.
Perfect. And just like that, Act 4 is complete. Well done, you guys. That's how it goes, Mike. Now, let's go ahead and go imbue these jabs. And see if we can get something extra.
Oh, hi.
If you ever have it glitch where it doesn't give you that check button, you just have to swap graphics. And you can either do it here or it'll come back over here. Just as a heads up. 1 mana per kill. Alright, that's nice. The poison damage and the other things are like all whatever. But we got 1 damage per kill, which is nice. So let us continue. We can go back to P8.
The siege must be stopped.
And I mean, again, it's our damage is crazy high because we have 5 bolts, each of which deal 1 to 500 damage. So even on P8, we can one-shot a lot of stuff. Replenish quantity would be nice too, yeah. For when we start throwing. Kill his minions, be happy with that experience. Now, when we get up here, we'll obviously kill Shenk. But after Shenk, we have Eldritch. And Eldritch always kind of poses a question of how much do you want to farm?
Move.
Evo 3000, that is the question. How much do you want to farm? Thank you. And thank you, Feeble, and thank you, Zarthus, for the Prime subs. Reminding everybody in Twitch chat they may have a Prime sub available. Don't forget to use it, or you're just giving it to Daddy Bezos. Because Eldritch is very easy farm. Like we talked about very early on with Bishibosh, you can just reset, come back in over and over. And even online, you can do that because Eldritch always spawns next to that waypoint, unlike Bishibosh, who's, you know, going to be somewhere randomly in the Cold Plains. So, with a guaranteed close by boss, it begs the question, do you want to just farm a bunch of levels there, or do you want to go farm elsewhere? So Shenk first.
Did I do that?
That's right, Binary. None go-kart. Wow, rare maid and javelins. Let's see what we get. Because, like, look how easy that is. And I can quit. And I can come back in. Yes, Shenk is the quest for cheaper potions in Act 5. That is correct. And it does have 1 to cold damage, a tiny bit of fire res, blah, 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 blah. But I kind of like what we have better because it has 1 mana per kill. And we can just very, very easily pick up experience. This is also not a terrible place to get items. As you can see, our items, you know, you drop items pretty quickly out here. We also have this shrine nearby, which is nice because that gives us the opportunity to get an experience shrine some of the times that we come out here and farm. Grab a random chip. Oh, I never did Forge. Okay, we'll go back and do Forge. And level 30, just like that. We have Lightning Strike, if we want. So that can be kind of a fun one as well if you want to be more in that melee-esque style. I still prefer Charge Strike, but I can show you guys Lightning Strike here. So, kind of a chain lightning release. And it actually gets pretty good once it gets a little bit later on. Another boss, so we'll go ahead and kill this.
I can carry a man.
And it's just, again, easy levels. So you can take this all the way up to like level 40 if you really want. Again, spend 20, 30 minutes farming right here, and you'll very easily have, you know, plenty more levels. Eventually the experience will start to fall off there. But mid to high 30s takes not much time at all and can do a lot. I'm going to go do my forge really fast just so we can see what we get.
I can't.
Oh no, it's the fake out. I wonder if I can make the teleport here. No. Oh, it's gonna be up over there. I'm just going to keep a Charge Strike. Again, Charge Strike itself is just so very good. Probably didn't need to do players 8 for Mephisto. Might be a little higher than necessary, but we need a new character for Diablo 2. I feel like that's like more likely than Act 6, but less likely than Act 4 being finished or a lot of things. Loot filter, more character tabs. That's just like such a big undertaking. Like that's well beyond what I think they would put into Diablo 2, you know? Sadly. Plus, like, would it even be balanced, or would it just be some ridiculous character that'd be like mosaics in times 1,000? Alright, we'll keep all those. Tower and unfortunate. What do I want to shell there? Am rune is the highest that can drop. And I would like Am, because we need shell, thol, Am. Not a big deal though, you know, just kind of seeing what we could get. Oh, there's our experience shrine. We can save the barbs to get a Ral or a Tal. That'll make us an Ancient's Pledge if we want. Or we could just get a Rhyme. Or we could get both, because we could use Ancient's Pledge until we use Rhyme later on. Right? So there's really options here. For now, let's go ahead and save the barbs, and then we can figure it out as we go here. Because my res are, like, doing fine. Why do I have 75 fire res? 27 there, 24 there, 10 there, 17 there. Wow. That's crazy, actually. Not going Lightning Fury. So I'm level 31. Lightning Fury is great, but honestly, level 1 Lightning Fury, not that impressive. So I generally like to wait for Lightning Fury until I'm like 35, 36, something like that. You like Lightning Strike? I mean, it is fun to Lightning Strike and bounce it all around as well. Yeah, I could see us getting like a new sheet of rune words. Maybe a couple more uniques would be like something really neat that they could add in, you know? Well, we're going to respec into it. Free orphan. We'll go ahead and grab our runes, Ral or Tal. And then, if you want, you can just come back here. Oops. And
It is an honor to serve you.
And we just go shopping for a 3 open socket shield now. For Mac Tufara.
How may I help you?
You'd like to see more class-specific rune words? I do think a source orb rune word would be cool.
Good day.
Leaf orb would be godly.
How may I help you? Greetings. It is an honor to serve you.
Dum 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 dum.
Hello.
Now, you could also use your socket quest on this if you wanted. You could just buy this kite shield or large shield that's white, and then just take it to Larzik. Socket quested, it will get 3 open sockets. But then you are using a Larzik quest, and some people might consider that wasteful for something that you could just spend a couple of minutes shopping. Up to you. In a speed run,
Greetings.
if you don't have another use for it, use it 100% there. When you're just kind of like playing through, having a good time,
Good day.
I think spending 2-3 minutes shopping isn't that big of a deal. We've been a little bit unlucky here.
Hello.
Little bit unlucky. Currency page and loot filters all you want. Both of those sound really nice.
Good day.
I mean, I think those are 2 of the biggest wins that they could add to the game. That would be like the less dev work for giant wins.
Blessings to you.
There we go. And I'll go ahead and put in his strength to go up. And Ral, Ort, Tal, make Ancient's Pledge. And Ancient's Pledge is super nice, as now our resistances are almost all maxed. So again, we've got 43 to all res, 48 to the 3 bottom res there. And a little damage to mana, which is also not bad. Remember, damage to mana does not reduce the damage you take, but it does still give you some mana back for the damage that you do take. So it's not a damage reduction ability. Yeah, the physical damage that you take. Ooh, Demon Knight's Hash. What up, Sweebs? I guess you could say if you mix it with Energy Shield, that's kind of like a damage reduction. put a TP right there. And we'll come back.
Impossible.
Put the rest of our stats in vitality. It really is nice that this character is like strong enough to just kind of quickly chip away at mobs as you run. While I'm players 8 here, so we can actually just keep our experience kind of up and continue leveling throughout the run. Okay, now we do want to save Anya, so we'll look for a waypoint here. If we don't find it here, then we'll go get it at the Ancients. Perfect. Yes, Cyborg. I prefer Ice Blast over Glacial Spike personally, because I like the single target damage for like bosses. But a lot of people prefer Glacial Spike. It is probably the more preferred by the general audience, but I've always enjoyed Ice Blast a little more. Additionally, when you're casting Blizzard, you want more mobs to kind of like move around. So if you Ice Blast and just kind of hit that single mob, then all the mobs start to like walk around it. Also go ahead and put on a Demonite Sash, as it does have an extra slot here. You know what? 18 to energy is better than 26 mana. Or similar. But gives me a chance for crit, so. Alright, and we'll grab our resistance scroll. And continue on towards the Ancients. Magic Thunder Charm, it'll lower magic immune mobs to 95 magic res, which doesn't really do a lot because there's not a way to really drop magic resist below that, so it still just kind of sucks for hammers and stuff overall. Why not check on his reward? Yeah, we could.
I am overburdened.
We'll see. It's almost guaranteed no matter what build you're doing, Anya always gives you the reward for the character you don't want. If you're playing a Boazon, you get jabs. If you're playing jabs, you get spear or bow. Right? The one time you play a Spearzon, you just... it naturally goes. Crush some Moon Lord's faces. Alright, now remember, we're going to go down to players 1 before we do Ancients. You can also go get more mana potions. I honestly don't think we'll need more mana potions. I think we're going to absolutely obliterate these guys in no time whatsoever. But it's always beneficial just to have as a, you know, just in case. That was players 8 before, so... Maggot will be the only one who will be a little tanky-ish, but still. I mean, this... If you haven't caught on yet, this is an S tier build. I'm just gonna share that. There's a reason this is on Mr. Llama's S tier build list. Girl's pretty solid. Plus, we haven't even got the Lightning Fury going, which we're level 35 now, so we're about at that point where we could if we wanted. Probably the waypoint right here. Hardest SSF character against Ancients. I mean, it's always hard to say hardest because it's like, what? Inferno Sorceress? Is that a real character, you know? It's A tier on my list? There's no way. No way it's A tier. Is it because Mosaic took the S tier slot completely by itself? Like Hammerden, Mosaic, Nova Source, Blizzard Source. But even those kind of, like, Nova Source requires some more gear. And Javazon. Those would be the 5 I'd really put there. Just so strong. Alright. Let's go to our throne. Oh, good to see you in heck. I'll go ahead and stick to players 8 here. Because why not? Good place to level. It's actually pretty nice armor. I value the fast run walk and stuff too much right now, but for a mercenary, definitely. Okay, the cold plus is a little brutal. Decrepified and cold. We are 36. Can bring them away from Baal so we don't get decrepified. Go to cows and farm up Death's combo. I mean, that would be really sweet. Cannot be frozen, 15 all res, 30 IIS. For gloves belt. Definitely put it on the recommendation list of things to do. Try and not get surrounded. It's always good, especially against these kinds of mobs, to be just like backing up and then stepping in to fight when there's just one at a time, maybe two. And you can kind of have the others layered back a little bit. Otherwise, it's just so hard to get your hits off. Go to players 1. Could probably do P3 again if we wanted. And time to murder Baal's face. And just like that, my friends, you are the proud owners of a normal completed lightning zone. How simple is that? Look at that. The Langer Bricer, one of the weirdest items. So weird. Can I do guided playthroughs with hardcore characters as well? I haven't died yet, so this is your hardcore playthrough now. Kasim. Probably need to go resurrect a bigger mercenary. If we want to continue with the mercenary, again, we don't really have to. Kind of one of the things that's like, well,
this way, have you?
We'll get Blessed Aim. Nah, he can't use that still. That's fine.
I'll put that to good use.
And let's go check in with Anya. Then we'll do kind of a gear check and review, and then move on to Nightmare. There you go. Got the spear. Always how it goes. All right, so let's take a look again as well. If you want to just like farm, Eldritch is still a good farm. Farming, you know, Pendle can be a good farm. Right? You get to kind of just like pick and choose what you want. I guess we can talk character now. So stats wise, mostly vitality. We put a little bit into dex and a little bit into strength, mostly just so we can use some maiden javelins. These may go up a little bit more again if we find some other nice jabs that we want to use. For skills, really ignore this crit strike. That's not even that important. Really, we're just 1-1-1 down here. Nothing else really matters at this point. And then max charge strike and power strike kind of for the points below. For gear, we have +1 Jav and Spear. We imbued this. Anything with plus Jav and Spear skills is important because, again, all that damage there. And then IAS is also really nice. We have 10 all res on our cranium, which is a fun little boost. 18 to energy here, just nice to get a little more mana. We made Ancient's Pledge for the res, stealth for the FRW really, Chance for Frost Nova when struck. Nothing really on this ring. Tiny bit of life, man. I haven't found good rings really. A random 16 potion belt. 27 fire res on this ring and 10 fast heroic boots. And then a little poison, cold, life, and fire res right here. So that is our gear. And we will see you guys in part Nightmare. Don't forget to like and subscribe, YouTube. Peace.